Okay, we'll start our meeting with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Steckland.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here, would you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item number 3 is our public comments or audience to visitors. This is the opportunity for anybody who'd like to address the council to do so, subject to some limitations and rules. Is there anybody who'd like to address the council tonight? Okay, seeing none, before we move on to consent agenda, the Chief of Police, David Fitz, had a couple presentations to make this evening. I suspect most of you are here for that, so we'll let you get on with it.
Thank you, sir. This is that time of the year that we really enjoy, and we get to recognize one dispatcher and one officer for the work and performance they've done over the last 12 months. So as far as the dispatcher of the year, this person is one of our dispatch supervisors, has been from the very beginning since we've had the 3 supervisors. This person is a telecommunications trainer and probably one of the most dependable dispatchers that I've ever been around. And it is my pleasure to recognize the 2022 Dispatcher of the Year as Justin Wing. Okay, when you're talking about a dispatcher or a patrol officer, it's different. It's hard to quantify what the dispatchers do, very easy to quantify what the patrol officers do. So I have some stats here for the Officer of the Year. This person is part of a specialized unit, and this person is either directly responsible or part of the numbers I'm about to read to you. He's issued 202 citations this year. He's opened 195 cases. Him and his unit has answered 848 calls for service. They've made 454 traffic stops. They've made 596 arrests. They seized 250 pounds of illegal cannabis. They seized 946.1 grams of methamphetamine, seized 2,115 grams of cocaine and other controlled substances combined. They made at least 66 controlled illegal drug purchases. And this is the most amazing stat of all these to me. This person has used 0 sick days this year. And that's very rare. So the 2022 Officer of the Year is Sergeant Jesse Thompson. And I don't think he knew until just a minute ago.
I didn't.
Jesse?
Well-deserved congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. If any of the family wants to go out and take pictures, I'm sure Becky would be more than happy to accommodate you on that.
we'll move on to the consent agenda, which consists of items A, B, and C, and sub-items. Tonight, anybody on the council want any of these items removed and voted upon separately? Brian, since you're the only one left, did you want any of these items removed from the consent agenda?
No, I think I'm okay with it.
Okay. I would entertain a motion then, hearing no objections, to pass the consent agenda as presented, please.
I would second that.
I need a motion first, then a second.
I'll make a motion that we would approve the consent agenda.
And I'll second that.
A through Z.
Okay, any discussion on any of the items? A, B, or C, 1 or 2? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay?
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Under new business, item 5A, Commissioner Barwick.
I'd like to make a motion that we would approve the recommendation of myself and Chief Fitz to hire Jared Blaylock to fill the open dispatch position at the probationary 1 rate for the collective bargaining agreement. Mr. Blaylock's start date is January 4th, 2023.
Second that.
Chief?
Right here. This is Jared Blaylock. He is currently working for the Williamson County Fire Protection District and also works at Biassee Keyboard. So I think he is currently working in Williamson County Fire Protection District. I didn't know you'd quit there, but okay. Anyway, so Jared, congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Marion Police Department.
Thank you.
Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it.
I'm honored and humbled.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
So
sir.
I want
All right, we got to vote first. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay, that would have been embarrassing.
that would have been bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Jared, this is Commissioner Webb, Commissioner Steckland,
Thank you.
Mayor Absher,
Are you musician too?
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
Commissioner Barwick,
No, I was
Commissioner Patton.
sound engineer. I've done sound up at Civic Center. I've turned your mic on a couple times for the plays.
Also on the back is City Clerk Kathy Beasley.
Got to find out.
Thank you.
Always can be an ensemble thing, right?
You don't have to walk over there, but in the back also is City Attorney Wendy Cunningham and the Mayor's Chief of Staff Cody Moak.
No, that was small.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
I know how to clean out a room.
what do you do? All right, we'll move on to item 6, public affairs. We have 3 items. Brian Ziegler's here and had asked for this item A to be on the agenda. And Brian, do you just, I think we've explained it to the commissioners, but would you like to take a stab at it?
Sure. I think I've talked to most of you and several staff members with the city, so I'm going into a lot of detail, but to summarize, we are near the end of a deal where Horn Schifrin will purchase Clarida Ziegler Engineering. You might recognize that name of someone that's worked on our city projects. Steve Donahue is their president, who's a Marion native. Some of you may know him, or at least know his family that's still here. So our paths have crossed several times over the years, and last year as we've talking about staffing and how to find engineers. Long story short, it got to this point. So we are nearing the end of that. Our office is going to remain the same. I'm going to lead this office still. The advantage to the people we work with, like City of Marion, is that we're going to have access to additional staff for staffing those projects, moving the projects along quicker. Because you've seen with us and every other IDOT and projects, just finding staffing to move these projects has become an issue. So we're going to have access to that. We're going to have access to other capabilities. And also, as a benefit that I wasn't thinking of first, was also a benefit to our employees, that we are going to have a transition plan that's very definitive now, where they will actually become stock owners soon, within a year. They are an employee stock ownership plan program, whatever that, the retirement program, where they're basically an employee-owned company. So our employees will not only have the stability of a transition plan with me and our company, but actually become stock owners after a year too, which actually then stabilizes, our office office and what we are right here in Marion for beyond even the next generation. So that's in essence why we've come to this point, other than a name change after the first of the year, maybe on future contracts or invoices. Your staff, the city, will really not know any difference. Some of those Horn Schiffer staff have already worked on several of our projects, the study for downtown, geometrics for the square that we're working on right now, hoping to bid next year, those kind of things. So what you have on your agenda tonight is the attorneys that would like to know that if and when we finalize this, which is getting pretty close, that the city consents to the assignment of the contracts that we've already signed, that we're under right now. So it's a simple page, I assume you guys have it in your packet, but simple, more or less one page, maybe a page and a half form saying that you're aware of this is pending and you have no problem with the assignment when it happens.
Okay, before we see if they have any questions, I will go ahead and move to approve Clarendon Ziegler consent to contract assignments as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, so as I understand it, basically, we're just saying we're not, just because you guys presumptively transact, we're not gonna pull these contracts out from under you. We'll just keep going with the same people, even though the
Correct.
names may
Yeah.
change ultimately, right?
And the big benefit for all of us is that there's no pause January 1st or 8th or whenever it happens. We're shooting for January 1st, it'll happen very quick, but there's no pause in continued work and continue to do business, so.
Okay. Is there any questions?
They are headquartered in St. Louis.
St. Louis, they've got several offices that we've worked with. So Fallon's got, Illinois' got a lot of transportation people there. We've worked with some water sewer individuals out of Poplar Bluff. In fact, on our refuge water sewer projects, those contracts, we have them as a sub doing some of that work already. So.
Any questions? For a second? Yeah? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Brian, congratulations, I hope, as it all transacts, and glad you're still gonna be around.
I hope as well, thank you.
Okay, item 6B, ask Cody to come up. On the City Hall project, the basement down there was pretty wet when we acquired the building, and we knew that was coming up, just didn't know.
And it continues to be that.
Continues to be, so we actually have two basements that we're dealing with, actually, in both the old Western Auto buildings. So the architects, after we got in it and seeing what's going on, are recommending, or not architects, mechanical engineers are recommending two more?
Yeah, two additional sump
Two?
pumps.
We
One on the
already have.
Western Auto side,
Yeah,
and then one in the bank, the original Bank of Marion side.
right, so, it's been very few real surprises. I wouldn't even call this one a surprise, we just didn't know exactly what we were getting into, just exactly
And
yet.
just to be clear, we could operate without this change order. But again, we're investing in this building. This work is easier to be done now and cheaper to be done now than 3 years from now when we look back and say, hey, we should have put those sump pumps in when we had the chance, because now it's a $30,000 expense or whatever it might be. So again, this adds sump pumps, one in an area, if you're looking at the map, the overhead view of the basement level. One is in an area that's a storage room 009. I don't even foresee that one to be used that often. Eventually it may be with record retention policies that we have to follow. But primarily, when we move, I don't believe that space will be used. Famous last words, right? And then one is next to the elevator in the chase. And there is a sump pump already in the, and that's all spec'd out and included in the elevator change order that you've already approved. But this one's next to the elevator in the chase in the Western Auto side. So we also, at the onset of the project, did some work in IT work area 001, which would be in the bottom left-hand corner, along what is the south wall. Helitech came in, built a channel, and there's a sump pump there as well. So these three including the sump pump that Helitech put in these 3 strategic locations. Everyone from the architects to the engineers feel like this will take care of our water issue. So I don't think I'll come back to you with another change order after this. This should take care of our water issues, especially from where they're originating from. And this gets us up to speed and gets the basement dry.
I'm just curious, I guess they'll discharge into the storm sewer,
Actually, the Helitech one discharges onto the street, onto Market Street. And this would contemplate going into the storm sewer. That's along Print Avenue.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve change order 27 to the City Hall project, adding 2 additional sump pumps in the basement as as presented.
Second
Any questions?
Cody, the one by the elevator that is new,
Yeah.
is there an existing one there now?
No.
Okay, so that's totally new.
Yep.
The only existing one we have now is over in the IT work area.
And in the elevator pit itself.
Oh, the pit itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got one, so this is kind of adjacent to that.
So is it a separate compartment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so one couldn't be tied into the other, it
Correct.
has to have another one?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the elevator pit is, and the location of this, there's probably a 5 or 6 foot elevation difference between the two, so. And the reason there's one in the pit is because the piston system, style elevator that we're installing, goes in the ground about 25 feet. So as you can imagine, we're gonna be at the water table somewhere in that 25 feet.
Yeah.
Might get lucky and strike oil.
So can we just pump that directly into the new tower?
Water? Probably want to treat it first, but yeah.
Recirculate it to the fountain.
Well, if it's a well, maybe not. Yeah.
So that one in the southeast corner, that was the only existing sump pump that was down there.
Correct.
In that corner, but it wasn't channeled even to get there, which is why that basement had been wet all those years.
And there is an exterior staircase around, you can see it, it's labeled EXG Stair 4. Outside of the building, there's another sump pump there at the landing once you exit the building. And it was always existing, but essentially it was just there to keep the water that fell down from the sidewalk from going in the building. So it's not taking any inside water out, it's just designed to keep the water that's outside, stay outside.
Any other questions?
Terrence requested a koi pond with some of this water, but I think.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Glenn, you wanna come up? Item 6C, I asked Glenn to come up. You've got updated maps here on your desk. This contemplates us applying for a grant, actually a set of grants. Glenn can kind of walk you through that, but along with the developer and their funding for a pretty major road improvement here off of Skyline. So Glenn, you want to just run through what you've got?
If you have the map in front of you, you can see a proposed roadway, excuse me, going from Skyline Drive east, then turning south and tying into existing Sioux Drive. And you'll see a yellow section in there, which is the grant that's been approved by Delta Regional Authority for a section of roadway, water, and sewer extension to serve the test tracks for the ATVs and the camping area. Now this second grant is going for is two-phased. The first one is the Economic Development Program grant from IDOT, which is a max of $2 million. And it cannot be more than 50% of your project. And dealing with IDOT, as of the middle of November, they had $8 million of unallocated funds still available. It takes them to the end of the fiscal year. So it's important that we get this application in as soon as possible. They've given very strong consideration as getting the $2 million. The second option is the Delta Regional Authority. and we're trying to get 1.6 million from that. But they have to be, letters of commitment for the balance of their 1.6 million funds. And that's the purpose of tonight. The city's gonna be obligating X number of dollars, and the balance of the deal would have to come from the developer. And the breakout of that would be 2 million from EDP, 1.6 million from DRA, 500,000 from the city of Marion, and the developer's $1,530,557. That puts together the total cost of the roadway. It starts at Skyline Drive, as you can see from your map. And the blue area shows 4 lanes, that's an indication of 4 lanes, because when the traffic from the baseball field, softball field, soccer field, all start coming in, traffic backs up forever. So they're gonna get plenty of lanes so the traffic, and then there'll be a median there where they collect fees for parking. And that's the blue area that you see.
Lynn, is this a roundabout I'm seeing here? I guess it's offset from Skyline, is it?
Yeah, the roundabout is offset so that you don't tie up Skyline Drive building a roundabout. And roundabout will be built to the east where you can keep the traffic going while the roundabout's being built.
Just to know, when we talk about these ball fields and stuff, that's proposed, that's not a done deal or anything. We gotta figure out how that all gets put together, but without a road, there can't, you can't get access to this stuff, so
And
that's
the
the first
reason
step.
the cost gets so excessive is we've gotta go through the strip hills and move a guess of 100,000 yards of dirt.
What's gonna happen over that strip cut out there? This looks like the road goes right over, right through it.
The strip cut,
North,
Here?
right there. This one.
no,
Right
that strip cut has been partially filled with concrete. That white area you see is concrete,
there. Okay, so that's not
broken up concrete.
Went up in the bridge over this thing.
No, oh no.
Okay.
And this is all speculative. We don't have any commitment letters from EDP or commitment letters from DRA.
They all have to happen in order for this to work.
That's exactly right. So, but we gotta go through this step to get that. I think it's very positive. I've been dealing with EDP, and I think if the funds are still there, are very positive, we can get to 2 million. The DRA is another issue. But DRA has asked for commitment letters to make sure that the balance of the funds are there before they make their commitment.
Does this include lighting too, I guess, or is there any lighting figured in there?
Only, I think, at the roundabout.
Okay, well, we can discuss it more, ask questions, but let's, before we do, let me make a motion to adopt resolution 2022-23, authorizing a local match from the project fund for a DRA grant to build a road north of the pavilion to Skyline Drive.
I would second that.
Okay, any other questions? If Glenn can bake this cake with all these different sources of funding, that's pretty, we're getting off very, very cheaply to do that, for a great improvement out there, but it's just not known yet.
It's still a crapshoot.
What's the timeline on, I know you said the, EDP is state of Illinois, so they have to allocate that prior to the end of their fiscal year, which is June?
No, they can carry it over. If there's, as of the middle of November, they had 8 million plus of unallocated funds.
What's their timeline to make a decision now, do you know?
It said after the application is received, 30 to 45 days to make a commitment.
Okay. And then DRA is a whole nother
That's another
timeline.
issue.
Okay. Any other questions? Fingers crossed. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay?
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yeah.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, item 7, commissioner reports. Commissioner Webb, start with you.
Yeah, street departments, of course, the up in front thing has been the snow removal, and, shout out to the crews, they've done a great job. The first one was a little tough with that, cold temperature, second one wasn't so bad, but they had heavier wet snow, but they done a good job. And spent a lot of extra hours out there, so we appreciate it and got it done safely. Still doing some sign replacements, cleaning ditches and demolishing some of the houses. I think we've done 3 here in the last couple of weeks. So, as far as the cemetery goes, you know, we do help with snow removal. They do some of the parking lots around the center part of town, so we appreciate that. Terrence handed me something I'm going to read, so I don't mess this up. But so bear with me. The Marion Cemetery Department has also had a busy weekend helping the street department with snow removal. Would like to point out that so far, for the year of 2022, the Marion Cemetery has had 171 burials. Robbie's been doing a great job getting each grave located and marked on our map. We've had also added an extra step since the springs. We have been adding photos of the headstones and obituaries as we can find them. One day I can see people visiting a loved one and scanning a QR code to see or hear the actual relative. I thought that was pretty intuitive, so stay tuned. So appreciate that everybody's work on that.
Yes, we can do it.
That's all I got.
Okay, we're gonna change it up and go to Commissioner Patton.
Our new software, we've tested, we've looked at it and kind of ran it through its paces. So come right after the first of the year, we'll probably make that transition to automatic deposits for paychecks. There'll still be some transition times, but that's what we're working toward these days. So,
Okay. Commissioner Barwick?
I have 2 things. First, with the fire department, want to remind everyone, we've had quite a few calls, people using extension cords, heaters. We had a lot of pipes freeze up in the last few days, or last week. But if you're going to be using space heaters, don't put them on small extension cords and keep them away from flammable objects. Also, with New Year's Eve going to be here Saturday night and the Sunday, please don't drink and drive. We're going to have extra patrols out, so just stay safe and be careful.
Okay, Commissioner Stepp.
Okay, water department, don't have a full report because they've been too busy fixing water main breaks. So we've had 100 lines bust through this cold snap and all repaired, so that's a good thing. With that, we'll go to trivia. We've got a couple of them tonight, and then a special thing from Terrence, what he dug up from the archives. So true or false? This is to true or false. The city of Marion used to pump raw water from Heron Lake up until 2009. Glenn, you cannot answer this.
True.
It is true. In June 1988, City of Marion did pump raw water from Heron Lake. The equipment was donated by the Williamson County EMA, which consisted of used pipes and a used pump that was left over from World War II. So that's how we were pumping water at that time.
Old Lake too, I think.
Yeah.
I was down there every day.
Okay, the second one. In what year did the City of Marion get its first computerized water and sewer billing system? 1960, 70, 80, 90, or 2000? Actually, it's not. This is actually kind of in between some of those, but which
60,
decade?
70, 80.
60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s?
Between 80 and 90.
The answer was December 23rd, 1975. The City Council approved the purchase of a new computerized billing system at a cost of $7,262.75. And before that, it was all done by hand. So we came to the computer age of 75.
$70,000 in 1975. That's pretty healthy.
Yeah, and he's got the original paper.
It had a 256K hard drive. Put that in perspective.
That didn't help the meter reader any though.
Not at all.
I was the meter reader in
Oh.
75 to 77, and in weather like this, especially when the rain started, I had to carry a coffee can with me to dip all the meter wells out and read them.
So he did find some old newspaper clippings. This is from all around 1975 as well. We'll stay on that topic. So 47 years ago on this date, there was a new Illinois egg law passed And in order to sell eggs to anyone else that was not related to you, you had to be licensed to sell eggs, and it cost you $30 a year.
Wow,
Just in case you want to sell some eggs to somebody.
that was a state law ordinance.
That was Illinois law. Yeah. Does anyone know what you could earn yearly delivering papers for the Marion Daily in 1975? Yearly. Yearly.
According to the ad.
According to the ad, because it's right here. Right next to the Absher Motors ad selling a Jeep with fancy wheels. So, you could earn $2,000 a year delivering papers for the Marion Daily.
I delivered papers. And I didn't make that much money.
That seems like a lot.
All right, and that's all I have. Again, like Commissioner Barber said, have a great New Year and be safe out there. So, plenty of activities going on around town.
Okay, anything to come before the council under item 8, miscellaneous? Under item 9, does anybody have a reason to go into executive session? Qualified reason? Okay, hearing none. For the last meeting of 2022, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'd second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay?
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yeah, thank you all. Happy New Year.